Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're doing a deep dive into a city that's more than just a place. Saigon, now Ho Chi Minh City.
Right.
Its history, its strategic role, the transformations. It really tells a whole story of the Vietnam War in the South, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Its identity is so layered.
Hmm.
Ancient Khmer roots, then Vietnamese expansion, then the French. It was sort of destined to be a focal point.
And that location on the Saigon River.
Crucial, perfect for a military base, perfect for trade. And then, in the Cold War became this symbol almost deliberately built up to represent capitalism. So its fall was, well, a huge ideological blow.
So during the war itself, it was the absolute nerve center. Politically, militarily.
Yeah, the command center for South Vietnam and the U.S.
Yeah.
But it was unstable after President Diem was overthrown. Things got shaky.
Leading to more U.S. reliance.
Exactly. And with that came, unfortunately, a lot of corruption. It really ate away at public trust. President T's government, for instance, was said to be heavily involved in Saigon real estate speculation.
Wow, that must have just corroded everything from within.
It did. And think about the logistics. Naval support activity Saigon was massive, moving like 330,000 tons of cargo a month. Just incredible capacity.
That's staggering.
But here's the kicker. Right alongside that efficiency, you had this booming black market, PX Street, they called it.
The street of thieves, selling stolen American goods.
Everything. Cigarettes, supplies, probably even weapons. It got so bad, the U.S. State Department basically admitted American aid was indirectly funding the Viet Cong. A total contradiction.
That's, yeah, a profound contradiction. War effort on one hand, fueling the black market on the other. How did all this chaos affect daily life for people in Saigon?
Oh, it was dramatic and tragic. The population just exploded, tripled maybe, to around 3 million by 1970, refugees flooding in.
Overwhelming everything, I imagine. Housing, sanitation.
Completely. And the American presence, while bringing in money, also inflated costs like crazy and led to, well, significant social decay.
The human cost must have been immense.
Devastating. You had huge surge in prostitution. One U.S. senator called Saigon, the biggest whorehouse in the world. And the orphans, estimates were around 800,000 by 72.
800,000.
Yeah. This kind of social breakdown, this moral decay, it really weakened the South from the inside, made it vulnerable.
And against that backdrop, Nixon brings in Vietnamization. The idea was to pull U.S. troops out.
Right.
Train the South Vietnamese Army, the ARVN, to fight alone.
That was the plan. And some ARVN units did improve.
Yeah.
Definitely. But ultimately, well, it wasn't enough. It didn't prevent the collapse.
Too little, too late, maybe.
Seems like it. Morale just plummeted, especially after the Paris Peace Accords when U.S. aid got cut by like 30%.
That's a huge cut.
Massive impact. Desertion shot up. 24,000 ARVN soldiers a month were just leaving. And then President Tia resigns in April 75, basically blaming the U.S. That was pretty much the writing on the wall.
And the actual military collapse in 75 was fast.
Incredibly fast. Less than 2 months. South Vietnamese defenses just crumbled. It became a rout.
So the final days, April 29th, 1975, artillery bombardment.
Yeah, heavy shelling. And then that signal for the final evacuation. That surreal detail playing Bing Crosby's White Christmas over the radio.
White Christmas as the signal for Americans and at-risk Vietnamese to get out. Just surreal.
And that kicked off Operation Frequent Wind, history's biggest helicopter evacuation.
The images are unforgettable, pushing helicopters off aircraft carriers just to make room.
Right. They pulled out over 7,000 people by chopper in about 24 hours, but, so many more couldn't get out.
And then the defining image.
The North Vietnamese T-54 tank, crashing through the gates of the presidential palace. Noon, April 30th. President Min surrenders. The war was over.
The immediate aftermath saw huge numbers fleeing, right beyond frequent wind. The start of the Vietnamese diaspora.
Yes, hundreds of thousands eventually.
Yeah.
Nearly 141,000 resettled just in the U.S. initially. A huge shift.
But for those who stayed, particularly those linked to the old regime,
A harsh new reality. The communist government set up re-education camps. Hundreds of thousands imprisoned former officials, soldiers, supporters, forced labor, indoctrination, sometimes for years.
and the economy, a complete shift too.
Total overhaul. That $1 billion a year in U.S. capital, gone overnight. Living standards plummeted. They imposed a centrally planned socialist economy. Nationalization, targeting the ethnic Chinese business community. Even collectivizing agriculture, which initially hurt production.
And then the name change, July 2nd, 1976. Saigon officially becomes Ho Chi Minh City.
A hugely symbolic act. But what's interesting, isn't it, is how Saigon just persists. People still use it inside Vietnam and out. It shows this deep local identity that, politics can't just erase.
You still see that mix in the architecture too, right? The French colonial buildings, Vietnamese temples, modern skyscrapers.
Exactly. A kind of dissonant heritage, as some call it. It wears its history openly.
Which brings us to today. Ho Chi Minh City is now Vietnam's economic engine, transformed by the Oil Mill reforms since '86.
Completely. Embracing market economics, foreign investment. It's a major hub now. Finance, tech, trade. Vibrant.
So looking back, the story of Saigon to Ho Chi Minh City. It's about conflict, ideology, massive change, but also incredible resilience.
It really is. It shows how a city can carry these deep scars, this complex history, but still adapt and forge a completely new identity and new future.
A powerful testament.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How do cities scarred by conflict manage to hold on to their past while constantly reinventing themselves for the future? What really resonates with you when you hear about Saigon's journey?